Let's. Oh, Yang Gang.
For the record, he likes balls in or around his mouth. He likes to watch drag queen videos.
Here we go. Here we go. Why is it that? What is it about the Yang Gang? Why are you on the Yang train?
Yeah, he has all the greatest solutions for the future.
Giving $1,000 of someone else's money to you?
Well, it's not someone else's money. It's all going to be taxed. It's going to be.
Okay, if you tax somebody, it's somebody else's money.
Well, there has to be a value-added tax because of what's going to happen with automation.
But back to square one. Yeah. He wants to give $1,000 to everybody, per month or per year. Yeah. So tell me, like, the money's got to come from somebody else. It's not his own, is it?
Well, it's going to be, there's already a value-added tax in Europe, and I think it's...
And Europe has one of the most moribund economies. They are now into negative interest rates because they cannot jumpstart their economy. That doesn't sound like a winning recipe. Whereas here in the United States, the president has rolled back numerous regulations. Not only that, but we've seen the tax reform bring in unprecedented revenues.
The thing is, most people aren't aware of the fact that self-driving vehicles, autonomous vehicles, are close.
So now you're shifting gears. You want to talk about that? What else about Yang do you support?
Okay. There has to be, there has to be a universal basic income, and it's going to be generated.
Whoa, okay. They've tried it in Stockton. It's failing. It's not working. They've tried it in other countries. It doesn't work because the money has to come from somewhere. And eventually you run out of other people's money. That's the very nature of socialism.
Well, it's raised through a value-added tax, and it's worked in 4 European countries.
So besides the $1,000 to everybody, what else about Yang are you on board with? Because you're distinguishing him from everybody else, so why does he stand out for you?
Yeah, well, he has, we own our own data. We should own our own data.
Okay, so he would stop the pilfering by big tech?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I agree with that, actually.
Yeah. He has over 160 now policy proposals on his website.
Name 5 that you like. Besides the one we've talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's going to be. Every cop would have a camera.
Okay. I'm actually okay with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, not have a daylight savings time because it kills some people.
I'm good with that. We need to scrap that. That's so silly.
Okay. Well, why aren't you on the Yang Gang then? Sounds like you.
You know why? Because there's a lot of policies I don't agree with. He wants a cap and trade scheme, which would ruin our manufacturing base, and it would hurt our country and hurt our environment. He's pro-choice. I'm pro-life. I believe babies have a right to live just because they can't speak for themselves. I support natural marriage. I support the Second Amendment. People should be able to defend themselves.
Oh yeah, he does support the Second Amendment.
Oh, he does.
Oh yeah.
Does he support red flag laws?
Yeah.
Okay, then he doesn't support the Second Amendment because red flag laws are a violation of due process. They violate the Second Amendment. People's guns can be taken away even if they haven't committed a crime. Here's something else. Mr. Yang doesn't support building the wall. Mr. Yang thinks that we should grant amnesty to all the illegals in the country. I'm totally opposed to that. You got to come in legally.
No, he does agree with going through the legal process. We need more judges, immigration judges, and people so that the process can work a lot quicker than it's going now because of the long
We need
lines.
more judges.
Yeah.
So you want to see enforcement of our laws?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I've looked at his website. I have looked at his website, and when it comes to immigration, we need a wall. We need a barrier. We absolutely do. He wants to grant amnesty. I am against amnesty. We should not have amnesty. So those are many of the reasons I don't support him. Yeah, but some of these are populist policies I agree with. Getting rid of the daylight savings time. I think we should have a serious discussion about pornography. How, the First Amendment has been so tortured to child pornography is now defended. The Supreme Court defends child pornography, virtual child pornography, virtual. So, and you can't tell the difference hardly between real and the virtual. This is what John Ashcroft had to say. That's a problem. That's not free speech. That's perversion. That's corruption of minors. That's corruption of our culture. South Korea bans pornography. I think we should consider doing something like that.
Yeah, he's actually said a lot about how pornography is affecting younger people.
Yeah.
So I think you and him definitely agree a lot on that.
But there are massive policies where we so disagree. His concerns about automation are a little misplaced. But I told you, his cap and trade talk, his issues on immigration, his issues on life, his issues on family are so fundamentally problematic for me. I could never vote for that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. What's his issues on family?
Well, he supports gay marriage. He supports gay rights. There's no such thing. People aren't born gay. Why are we giving rights to people when it's not even a genetic trait? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, well, actually, how would you know if someone was born gay or not? Whether they think that a woman's body or a man's body is sexually arousing to them,
But that's not a matter of genetics. That's not a matter of birth. I mean, there are healthy sexual practices and unhealthy sexual practices.
Okay, all right. So over a course of time, whether they're younger or getting older, they just because someone would be sexually attracted to someone of their own gender, then that actually has something to do with anything else.
It's environmental. I'm not saying that. For example, I mean, they've studied this. In every case, homosexuals were abused emotionally, physically, sexually. They are a domineering mother, an absent father for males. Just give me a sec. Mr. Berman, hi. Yes. Would you tell me why you voted to ban the Bible, AB 2943? You want to tell me about that?
Everybody wants.
Okay, why?
I'm looking forward to seeing President Trump.
Why did you? Why? And why did you support that Blaisley Ford lady who totally lied about Brett Kavanaugh? What if it was your son? What if it was your son? If it was your son who was falsely accused? Wow, Mr. Berman, what are you afraid of? You don't want to talk to me. What is it? What is it? What is it, Mark? You don't want to talk to me? Your handlers are telling you not to talk. What, are you too afraid to speak to me, huh?
That's her number. How close? Robo taxis are close. Cross country.
So who do you want for president? Biden? Bernie? You like Bernie Sanders? What do you like about Bernie?
Medicare for all.
Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for it?
Taxing the people who need to be taxed.
So I'm taxed,
I'm talking
and you're
about-
taxed.
I'm talking about ultra wealthy corporations that don't pay taxes. PG&E doesn't pay taxes. Amazon doesn't pay taxes.
USPS.
Okay.
But I also like Bernie because he has a consistent. He tells you what he means.
Okay.
He says what he means and he means what he says.
Now, tell me, what are your views on the Second Amendment?
I would like to see regulation with ARs and
Okay.
that kind of thing, but I do think people have a right to hunt. They have a right to a weapon for
Okay.
protection.
So I got to tell you something. Bernie Sanders, he took money from the NRA. You know that, right?
I didn't know it, but
He did, and he still does. I'm just saying. So he's very strong on the Second Amendment. That was his Achilles heel in 2016. Well, the real Achilles heel was a lady named Hillary Clinton who stole the nomination from him. You would agree with that?
I don't.
Okay.
I think that she did everything to make him invisible.
Yeah.
The Democrat, I think she was the one. Anytime she was interviewed, anytime Trump was interviewed, anyone was interviewed,
Right.
that went on television. They got all this airtime.
She did.
Bernie, and you hear nothing. He would go someplace and have thousands and thousands of people.
He did.
Never saw nothing. They tried to make it visible.
I would agree. So do you now, before he ran for president, he was very strong on building a wall, deporting illegals. Do you support Bernie Sanders then, or do you support his views now where he wants to give everybody amnesty and all that stuff?
It's not everybody amnesty.
Okay.
It's not giving free walk over the border. It's to have regulations
Okay.
that make it easier for immigrants to become citizens
Okay.
or to be able to enter legally.
Okay.
Not trying to encourage people to come over illegally.
I understand. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. What's your name? Oh, Claudia? Arthur.
Actually,
Oh, Joy? Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Take care. Nice hair. You have hair. I don't.
Yours is by choice, too.
No, fine. Genetic. And then I shave the rest of it. What's left? Okay, nice to meet you. I saw your boss.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Looking for you.
Oh, you're working for Lion Ted now, right? Are you still in Ted Lieu's office or what?
I don't work for him, no. But
You're just a volunteer helping him out?
You've come up. I'm on VP of the Santa Monica Democratic Club.
Oh, no kidding. All right, all right. So who do you like for president?
Look at all of his policies talking about automation.
I don't know.
Who's your top three?
We own our own data with getting paid for,
I mean, I guess Biden.
Really? Okay. Biden, and do you have a second and third choice in case he doesn't make it?
Well, I like some of the issues that Warren brings up.
Okay.
She brings some practicality. I mean, I tend to be for the political left.
Oh, you're in Santa Monica. I understand.
No, but I'm very pragmatic. I'm not a loony left or anything like that.
Okay. Warren, Biden, and who's your third? Sanders?
Well, originally, actually, I like Kamala Harris, but I don't think she's going to make it very.
I don't think she's going to make it either.
So,
our resources here, you know?
But, yeah, I mean, just some of the issues. I mean, I know you probably don't agree with it, but I do think we should have more of a European-style healthcare.
Okay.
And I say this as a businessman.
So let me ask you this.
Wait. I say this as
Oh, no. So I want to...
No, but let me say...
Oh, okay.
I mean, I say this. I run a business,
Sure.
right? And I don't want to be dealing with healthcare.
Okay.
I don't think healthcare should be attached to business. I think that's ridiculous. And that's a vestige of just what happened after World War II, when people had to attract people to work at the
They did?
auto companies. And
You want a single-payer system? Okay.
Not sure yet, but I mean, yeah. I mean, a public option. I mean, I'm fine with private. I'm fine with private healthcare. If you want to pay for it, it's fine.
Okay.
But I'm also fine with a state-run or a state system, which I would be perfectly fine to be part of.
Okay.
Which I don't push anybody else to be part of, but I would if there was a Medicaid for all option that I could pay for.
So let me ask you this, because what I wanted to ask this, so do you want a system like France, Germany, Sweden, Canada?
Yeah.
Which one?
I mean, for me, I'm okay with a UK type system with a national health system, but not an enforcement. Like, you don't have to be.
So
part, if you want to be part of the private system.
If you want private, you can have private.
I mean, I actually had to once, and it was fine. I don't have a problem. But if people want private, it's fine.
I can tell you right now, I'm on private insurance. I was able to purchase it. Obamacare has pushed up the premiums, sadly.
I don't know if it's Obamacare. I mean, healthcare costs in general are going up no matter what.
Okay, so
I don't think it's.
Can we talk about how to lower the costs?
I don't think it's the ACA.
Can we talk about lowering the costs? Can we talk about if I want to purchase?
Then you're going to get into socialistic types. I mean,
No.
You're going to have to.
If you want to lower the costs
on drug companies,
how about
like that.
purchasing health insurance across state lines? I have to buy a plan in California because I'm in California.
These private issues, like the thing is, like whenever people bring these issues up, like somehow people on the right have no problem that the military is completely government run.
You know what?
And the police is completely government run.
Actually, I do have a problem with that.
Okay, but most people on the right don't seem to have a problem with that.
Let me
They
explain.
don't have a problem with the roads.
Okay,
I mean,
let me.
Imagine if we privatized the military.
Okay,
I mean,
let me.
a mercenary force.
You're bringing up a point about how there are some public effects. The role of government is to protect our rights. That's in the Declaration of Independence. That's why we have a military. That's why there is a police force. If you want to talk about reducing the role of the state in police action, we could talk about that. In Indiana, they do have a private program in place for restoring the roads. They do it more efficiently. But public-private is something to consider too. I'm a little leery about private prisons because you could shove 100 people into a cell and they're treated poorly. There's no protection of rights. That's why we have government. Now, when it comes to health care, we probably disagree. I don't think healthcare is a right. Now getting healthcare is a right, but it's a commodity. It's a product or it's a service. And when you make it a right, that means that you can command or demand that service or product from others. And that to me is a problem because that leads to slavery. Not only that, putting aside the moral concerns in Canada, let me wrap up. I'll wrap up.
The government is. I mean, the founders did want a government that was going to provide for the well-being of our people.
But well-being does not mean.
Well-being is health. I mean,
not necessarily. No. That's a great question.
To me,
no.
Housing,
Okay.
food, military protection, like security and health
Okay,
are.
well-being is defined, you can see in the Declaration of Independence, for example, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, pursuit, not the guarantee. Furthermore, well-being speaks of peace, and you see that the context in the preamble bears that out. Protect the common defense, provide for the common defense, provide for the general.
Listen, okay, I am saying if we want to have a completely private system, that's fine, and that's perfectly fine.
Cool.
If people have money they want to pay or whatever. If people don't like the government, that's fine. And if people, I wouldn't maybe even be willing to pay for it. Maybe it might even turn out to be lower, like less good.
What time is it?
care.
I'm sorry, I gotta ask.
It's I don't
What time is it?
Anyway, listen, we're at.
Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot.